So I was inspired to run by the Time to Run campaign, which the Green Party of Canada put out at the beginning of the year. I just found how Annamie Paul and the party just presented to how regular people can run. And, so that really made me feel like, yes, I should do this. I need to do this.
You get to meet so many people. You get to learn so much. It's so enriching. Especially, it's a great opportunity to get to know your neighbors.
The future that we're leaving is quite dire, and there are a lot of serious issues, and there are no politics around today to address some of those problems. I felt that this is something that maybe I needed to get involved with, and maybe this was my piece of the pie that I could address.
I see a leader. This is the person that is helping my community. I want them to contact us and say, you should reach out to this person. I would love to see them represent us. So nominate them, nominate yourself.
I wanted to make a difference. Plus, it was only 36 days.
Merci de vous joindre à nous ici à Rideau Hall aujourd'hui.
Thank you for being with us at Rideau.
Je me suis entretenu avec son
A few
Excellence
moments
la
ago,
Gouverneure Générale.
I spoke with Her Excellency, the Governor General,
Ma demande de dissoudre le
to
Parlement.
dissolve
Les
Parliament.
Canadiens iront donc aux
Canadians will be
le 20
going to their
septembre.
polls on September 20th.
So our Prime Minister just called an election. We're in the tail end of summer vacation. We're knee-deep in the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. And what do? We're doing an election. How crazy is that? Well, what is next for us?
Well, each party names the candidates they'll be running across Canada's 338 electoral districts. Once the candidates list is official, next comes the campaign. Under federal law, the election must be held no fewer than 36 days after the dissolution of Parliament. However, it can be up to 50 days later.
With this being a pandemic election, there are a lot of concerns and challenges, especially when it comes to health and safety. We need to make sure that, we're doing our jobs, doing what we need to do for collecting nominations, for campaigning, but do it in a safe manner.
Door knocking was all of my interactions were so positive. People were very friendly, even if they, straight up said, I'm not going to vote for you. Yeah. But people were kind, and there were lots of good conversations around what people are looking for and what people are missing.
We were scrambling, so we were nominating people and trying to get them up to speed, the day of writ drop or up to 2 weeks after. So it's definitely a challenge for sure, and we should learn from those mistakes.
A candidate is required to get 100 signatures. I got 140. So if there are any issues with any signatures, I have a 40 signature buffer. So what happens when you don't get your signatures? In 2019, a situation like that almost did happen, and the Green Party jumped into action.
And on that day, one riding over from me, the candidate kind of messaged in a panic and said, my returning officer says I don't have 100 signatures. And he had submitted them before the weekend, and everything was, at that point, was fine. And then calling Monday morning, he's like, now I have till 2 o'clock to get 20 more signatures. What can we do? So a whole bunch of us just dropped everything and rushed over to try to collect signatures for this candidate. Fortunately, we found out later that it was a mistake on the part of the returning officer. He had mixed up 2 different candidates. So our candidate, the Green Party candidate, was fine. And in 2019, that would have been completely tragic because we had a full slate. And so if we had missed the ballot by just a few signatures, it would have been very disappointing.
I actually had to pull my jaw up, which just dropped, when I heard what Mr. Blanchette said. I invited Mr. Blanchette to get educated about systemic discrimination. I extend that invitation again. I would be happy to educate him.
It's nice to want to educate me.
This is my time, sir.
It is.
Thank you.
So nice time to insult people.
That was not an insult, it was an invitation to educate yourself.
So now here's the day, day 36, election day. And the results aren't what we were hoping for. We lost a seat on Vancouver Island, but we did gain a seat in Ontario, which is a plus. But yeah, like it was a very somber night. But yet, for a first-time candidate like myself, I'm just amazed that I got, as many votes as I did. Yes, my vote goal was to be over 2,000 to top what the candidate did in 2019, but I'm satisfied that 868 people voted for me. 868 people trusted that I was the right choice to be their voice in Ottawa. And I'm extremely grateful for that.
All the possibilities that they have that I didn't encounter that at home.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things that make me wanted to participate in this.
I learned about how the system works if you want to become a candidate.
We know that we need to work together to make the changes that we need to see happen.
So we felt we had small teams. If we combined our teams, we would have a little bit more firepower and a little bit more presence.